Okay, so we're done here. The last one. You know what to do with the last one? I hope you do. This is the last one. There's one stitch left. So I'll leave a longer piece of yarn here before I cut it, so we can use it for sewing together. It's about that long. That's good. And then the yarn go inside the last stitch and tie up, and at the end of it. So here's our temple slipper. It's going to be folded into and sewed together like that, front and back. Good. So now we're going to show how to make the flower first, and then we're going to sew the two pieces together. So for making a flower, the flower will look like that. This is a flower here. See if I can get it a little better. Yeah. Here's a flower. Here's a flower when it's done. Does it look like a flower? Yeah. This is a flower. And what we need when we do the flower, it's a spiral. So it looks like that. It's a spiral. So the way it's made to make this spiral, or like a spiral like that, and then you put it inside each other to make like a flower. So the way it's done is every other row you double the stitch. To cast on 12 stitch to start the flower. You cast on 12 stitch. Now that's important what we do on the next row, because the next row, the first row, you're going to purl one row. It's not usual to do that, but for this flower, that's how we do it. Purl the first row. Your best. First row is never easy. You don't want to leave any stitch, to lose any of them. Okay, almost done. So after that, okay, this is the first row, purl, 12 stitch. The next row is knit, and this time you add a stitch between each one of them. So you have 12 stitch, and you don't add before that, but between them. So you end up with, there's 11 space and 12 stitch. That means you end up with 23 stitches. So it's a lot. So you knit the first one, and then you knit the one, you take the thread which is between the stitch, and you knit that. Then you take the next stitch. Then you take the thread, the little loop here, which is between the stitch. I don't know if you can see that. And then you knit it. And again, you take the next stitch, and then this piece between the thread. That's how I add a stitch. Take the one in between for this particular way of doing the flowers, the roses. have to be, it's very delicate, so go gently. It's something when you need more focus than when you do the whole temple slippers ribs. But it's beautiful, and it's add a little sweetness into the slippers. Okay, 2 more. Okay. Now this has 23 stitch. And it's very tight because there's one in between. So we're going to turn the next row. You're going to use the purl stitch and just purl simply all those 23 stitches. And also I don't knit the first stitch. I don't purl it, I don't knit it, I just pass it on the needle. So the edge look always nicer. Just a habit I have because I learned that sometime and I think it's look very nice. It look like a smooth edge. If you sew it together, it look nice. If you don't sew it together, it look more like a nice ending. Okay, so we're going to continue that until finishing the row with a purl. And at the end of the row, we're going to do one more, add using the knit this time. And like the row before this one, you knit and knit the space between, knit and knit the space between the stitch. So now there's 23 row, and at the end you want to add 22 stitch, which is one between each one of them, and that will make 45 stitches. So you can do that with the knit. Good. Then you go on until you're done with the whole row. And here the row is done. And when the row is done, we're ready already. There's 45 stitch on this row, and now we're ready to cast off, and then they'll be done. So I cast off with the pink to make that nice looking edge. This is the other one which is already done. So I cast off, let's see also, yeah, with the using the knit stitch, and I knit each one of them to show the pink in there. So you knit 2, pass one on top, knit one more, pass the previous one on top, and then don't do it too tight because that's part of this one is to be looser is better because it has to be open for the rows. This is the petals of the rose, they have to be open, they don't want to be closed back in. So we go on like that. This looks beautiful. If you look on one side, you make this little line, and on the inside it's just the inside of the rose because the edge, which is like that. These roses, who in fact has that edge with a different color. It's beautiful. So you continue all the way till the end, and at the end you just pass the stitch in the other one. I'm going to go a little faster here. Okay, you can go on. Almost done. Not almost. It's more stitching. You think 45 stitches, double. So every other row you add more stitch, so that makes really a strong spiral. That's how you can make spiral all roses. You can cut that part off and just show the end of it, which is how we finish it, and then we'll sew it together. So now there's only a few stitches left, 3 stitches left, and we're done with this flower. Last one. Good. So here also, like when we finish, leave a longer piece so you can use it for tidying it up. Place the thread inside the loop, and then finish the cast off like that. You see that nice spiral it gives? It's like a spiral. It has the thread we use for starting and ending. So we're going to put those inside each other and make a nice rose shapes, flowers. And that's the one we're going to sew on the second temple slipper. So we have one for each. One for each. Okay, so I leave this aside now, and we're going to finish the temple slippers, which is almost the end of it. So let's start with, when you have those pieces, you fold it in two. Now you have to decide which one's going to be the inside, which one's going to be the outside. So when I look at it,